Yo, what's going on, fellas? Happy Thursday morning to you. Hopefully you're doing well. Time to get settled on into some sports and some sports betting talk. We, of course, got Payoff Pitch live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Payoff Pitch. We'll preview today's MLB slate, about half a dozen or so games. So we'll look forward to talking about all of them in depth and seeing if we can't find some picks along the way in each of those games right there. We'll, of course, make sure that we, of course, start with yesterday's recap, see what happened on yesterday's show. So we throw that up right now. Tough little day yesterday. Went 1-3 and down 2.13 units on the day. And unfortunately, that now dips us under the week. So not really discouraged by it, though. Remember, we're on a nice little 2-week run. And in that 2-week run, we both had days during those weeks where we went 0-3 and lost 3 units. And in each of those weeks, we were able to overcome it. So not ideal to have the day that we had yesterday, but we all know things like that can certainly happen. Let's go through those bets real quick. Holland, over 1.5 shots on target. He didn't do a goddamn thing. And I literally mean he didn't do a goddamn thing. I texted my friend, I don't know, midway through the second half, and it was like, does Holland even have a touch other than, maybe Ederson or a defender banging him a long ball and, him trying to retain possession? I mean, I literally struggled to come up with a time in which, he had the ball. He took one shot in the game. It was very late. It was blocked by a defender. So because blocked by a defender, you don't get credit with the shot on goal. To be credited with the shot on goal, it has to be stopped by the goalkeeper. And that one, again, was blocked by a defender. Other than that, he didn't do a goddamn thing. An absolute goddamn thing. And we'll talk about this a little bit more in depth with Matt today, as we're going to film Between the Posts. We'll, of course, do that live at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. 12 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll do Between the Posts there with Matt and I. And, of course, we'll be talking about Manchester City taking on Newcastle and that. But they were dreadful yesterday. Boy, without Gundogan and without Kevin De Bruyne, they were dreadful in midfield. Absolutely dreadful in midfield. I can't get anything going. Phil Foden, love his talent, speak highly of him. Frequently I speak highly of him. He wasn't cutting it as the number 10. He was not anywhere near cutting. I don't remember him having one significant pass. And obviously he's taken over for De Bruyne with the injury. De Bruyne has several key passes every game. I don't remember Foden putting in a significant pass to anybody. And getting back to Holland there, we were robbed in the first half of a shot on target. His best opportunity, I think it was it Rodri or Kovacic that tried to slip? I think it was Kovacic, tried to slip him in, and it was a beautiful ball. And Holland's going to get to it and be one-on-one with the keeper, but the defender very smartly, pulls at his waist and pulls Holland down. I think you could make it a claim that was a red card, because that's a goal-scoring opportunity. With Holland, with his position and with his speed, he's going to be first to that ball, and once he gets on the ball, like I said, it's one-on-one with the keeper. So they almost could have called a red card in that situation. I think it would have been warranted. But that was his best opportunity. Very smart tactical foul. Takes away that opportunity. Because that would have either been a goal or would have been, kicked right off the keeper. And obviously then that gives you a save and now you're on the hook. So, yeah, just a dreadful performance there by Man City. They lift the trophy, but you got to give a lot of credit to Sevilla and how goddamn good they were. And, they were certainly, the better side in that game. So, just a bad performance. I would be really curious to get Matt's take on Between the Posts, what he's thinking about this weekend at Newcastle, or against Newcastle. It's at the Etihad there on Saturday. What the hell is the Premier League also doing making Man City play on Saturday? Like, they traveled to Greece on Wednesday to play in the Super Cup, and the Premier League can't put them on Sunday? These managers, they always talk about the protection for the player. There's no protection for the players. There are way too many games. And even in a situation like this, Premier League has an opportunity to do City a favor, because there's no midweek Champions League. Champions League doesn't start till September. There's nothing going on. City should be playing on Sunday against Newcastle. It's going to be in Newcastle's favor. I can see what Matt says, but I think getting in a bet this weekend against Newcastle would probably help you put some money in your pocket. So Anyways, that's what happened in that game. Boy, what a dreadful game that was. All right, moving on into baseball. Reds F5 run line. We talked about that game. That was one of my favorite bets. Used it on TikTok to streak to $85,000. Very, very easy outcome. The Reds eventually get to Noah Syndergaard in the fourth inning, tacking on a couple 2-run home runs. Easy get that bet right there. Rangers on the team total. They didn't come anywhere near that. Obviously, they scored 0 runs. They were no hit through 7 innings. It's just one of those nights, it happens. You got to tip your cap to Reed Detmers and tip your cap to, the other pieces in the bullpen that came in for the last inning and change and got it done. So that one went. And then Snell under 17.5 outs. I said if you lost that bet, you were going to lose on the hook. So you're holding plus money and you lose on the hook. Perfectly fine with that bet. The Orioles just couldn't get his pitch count up early enough in that game. They weren't doing a whole lot of damage off him anyway, so just unfortunate. So lose the Snell, lose the Rangers, and that gives you a 1-2 night there in the MLB. So again, down on the day, down on the week, but not deterred. Certainly determined to claw back and get it back today. It'll be an interesting day. How much will we be able to get back in terms of volumes and bets? We'll find out on the payoff pitch, live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. There's obviously no soccer today. There's obviously no soccer today, so that's how it'll be. We got a couple bets there. We've talked about these. We'll also talk about these a little bit more in depth on Between the Posts with Matt. Get Matt's opinion on this Friday game between Nottingham Forest and Sheffield. See if he also thinks there's going to be goals, and also see if he thinks there's going to be goals scored by both teams. But I've gone ahead and already locked them in. Let's see if we're on the right side of these bets here, fellas. Let's see. So I made one of those on FanDuel. Let's see what FanDuel's got now for Forest team total over 1.5. See if we're on the right side of that one. I gave that one out, 2 days ago? Let's see. See what we got, boys. It's plus 114, so certainly on the right side, but not by a great deal. But still, 30 hours till kickoff, so likely going to just become more on the right side of that bet. And then let's see what both teams of score checks in at. We're doing it at even money. And both teams of score is currently still even money over on Bet Rivers. So if you're still interested, you can tail that one at the same price and basically get the other one at the same price, plus 114. I gave it out at plus 120. So that's how we'll do it right there. But of course, adding some more bets on Between the Posts, and to go along with adding some single plays from myself, we've also got the parlay of the week. Matt will give you a leg. I'll give you a leg. And then we'll see. Look forward to cashing that one. Again, like it did last week. Stay hot in the Premier League is what we look to do. All right, guys, don't forget NFL Eliminator, NFL Pigskin Pick'em Contest, straight and against the spread. They're all available there. All the information is down in this video description. We've got 11 people in each group. Don't forget, $250 to the Eliminator champion, $100 to the Pigskin Straight champion, and then every single week we'll give away $25 to the Pigskin Spread Contest winner. So get on in those groups. If you're in the NFL Eliminator contest, are you already locked in on the Ravens? They're the biggest favorite at NFL Week 1. They're favorite at home, minus 9.5 points against the Texans. I'm locked in on the Ravens. I can just go ahead and tell you that. Obviously, plenty of time to go ahead and change it and come off of that. Should maybe injury news or something come out that would make you hesitate, make you come off that pick. But rookie quarterback, Texans on the road at the Ravens Week 1. I can't imagine finding a better play in Week 1 in terms of the NFL Eliminator. So I'm locked in on the Ravens. Let me know in the comment section if you're already locked in on the Ravens as well, or if you're considering another team out there. Let me know. All right, boys, that's what we got. You can see what shirt I'm wearing today. I told you guys on yesterday's show of the payoff pitch to look out for that Tigers-Guardians NRFI. I don't know if anybody out there decided to lock it in, but it certainly looks like a great play. Maybe I'll go ahead and add it to the card. I've already tweeted it. You guys know it's on the card. Get on that, boys. NRFI of the day, Tigers-Guardians. Lock it in, boys. Hopefully you're doing well. All right, boys. Yeah, that's it. Slow day. Very, very slow day in the MLB. There is no real soccer. I think there is some Europe. Is there Europa League qualification? I think there is. Yeah, right here, Europa League qualification. No way in hell I'm definitely betting that. Europa Conference League qualification. No chance in hell I'll be betting that. And then 6 MLB games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, just 6 MLB games. So payoff pitch will obviously be quick. Well, it doesn't mean, we'll certainly, talk about all 6 games. and break them down. But with just being 6 games, yeah, it'll be a short little episode there of the payoff pitch. Still trying to find some winners, though. Not a great slate by any stretch, but I still think there's some. You can find some winners on the slate. You can always find winners on the slate. I've got some good leans. I don't know how many of those leans will become official bets. Maybe we'll just stick to, the NRFI of the day of Tigers Guardians, or maybe we'll add something to it. There's some strikeout props, but goddamn, I don't know if I could take another under just to have the last freaking batter stand there and strike out on me again. So, but there are a couple of good spots. There are a couple of good spots. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. All right, boys, I'm going to go ahead and throw up the slate. We'll get ready for the payoff pitch live at 11 a.m. Eastern time. If you've got any comments or you've got any questions in the meantime, go ahead and drop them in there, and I'll go ahead and reply while we're hanging out waiting for the top of the hour. So, all right, fellas, let's have a nice bounce back day. It all kicks off here on the payoff pitch. Let's do it. Hey there, guys. Welcome on into today's episode here of the Payoff Pitch. We're live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, live every day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, previewing today's slate in the MLB. Small slate today in the MLB. We've only got 6 games, so we'll go ahead and ditch this normal left-hand format where we like to normally go through and player props, pitcher props, NRFI of the day, favorite parlay of the day, what's your best bet of the day. We're going to go ahead and ditch that normal format. Let's just talk all 6 games in depth. We'll, of course, let you know within those games, though, if we like pitcher props, hitting props, if we like a NRFI, and then, of course, we'll let you know at some point when our best bet of the day is going to go ahead and be in. Which one of these 6 games? Let's see if we can't bounce back from yesterday. We went 1 and 2 on official plays. Some leans hit, some didn't, as it usually goes most days. But let's jump on into it. I'll go ahead and open up that comment section if you want to let me know what your best bet today is, or maybe let me know what your favorite underdog, favorite 2-team parlay of the day is. go ahead and drop it in the comment section. We'll, of course, circle back through those and read those and see if we can't maybe tail one of your great plays. So, all right, with that being said, let's just jump right on to it. We'll, of course, take them on in action. I'll go ahead and pull up a sports books here so we can kind of incorporate rapid fire into it as we go along in terms of knowing what the live lines are. So we'll kick it off first with this Mariners versus Royals series. We've got an over-under of 9. I'm seeing minus 218 for the Mariners, and I'm showing Royals coming at plus 180. We've been on this series for 3 days in terms of saying over, and all 3 days the over has hit. I don't see any reason why, if you're going to bet this game, why you wouldn't take the over again. Yeah, you've got George Kirby on the mound. He's certainly having an outstanding season, but we know how good this Royals offense has been, and we know particularly how good this Royals offense has been against right-handed pitching. That's why every day I keep saying take the over in this series. You add it with an absolutely atrocious Royals bullpen, and it's just a good recipe for hitting overs. Royals are going to go ahead and start a left-hander today in Zerpa. If he goes as normal, I would think about 3-4 innings, he's going to give up a few runs. It's just what he seems to be doing. If they can keep him to a shorter outing, I think it'll obviously improve his chances of getting out of there without giving up any runs. But if they run him out there for 3-4 innings, okay, now the Mariners will at some point likely get to him. So even with Kirby on the mound, I know it seems a little scary, but this whole series has just been an absolute over series. Of course, if I'm going to pick a winner in this matchup because Kirby's on the mound and you add that with the the Royals struggle in the bullpen, of course you're going to like the Mariners in this matchup. You're certainly going to like the over as well, I believe. No real great within the matchup, pitching props because neither team is doing really poor or good, and their strikeout rate, it's all about league average. Kirby's over under on his outs is at 18.5. I mean, maybe you take a chance on it, but the Royals to me just hit too good offensively versus right-handers to suggest that Kirby may go more than 6 innings. They may make him work pretty hard, although he is one of the better guys in MLB at throwing strikes and keeping his pitch count down. So if you want to take a jab at plus money, maybe you go for it, but I would just continue to just stay with what's worked in this series. And if you've bet the series all 3 days, and if you take the over in all 3 days, don't go ahead and ruin it here on the 4th one. Enjoy your 3 cashes, enjoy your 3-0 sweep in this, and say, you know what, I'm not going to mess around with George Kirby because he's got the stuff. Remember, last time out, dominant against the Orioles, didn't give up a run. Kirby's got the stuff to keep this game under. And the Mariners, with this terrible Royals bullpen, could hit an overall on themselves. That's how bad that Royals bullpen is. So I would just say enjoy your 3 cashes and just, you know what, it may be the only afternoon game, and there may be only 6 games, so maybe people are out there looking for volume. But this game in no way is going to get my money. Maybe the over, maybe a Mariners run line, but I certainly can't get there. So we move it on over into the next game. We've got the Red Sox taking on the Nationals with an over-under of 9.5. Red Sox come in at minus 185. Nationals come in at plus 154. Told you guys to keep an eye on this game because what was my dog of the day yesterday? That was your Nationals that came through and gave you a good plus 140 cash, a 6-2 win. Well, we were going to use that data and apply it again today because just like yesterday was 2 left-handers on the mound, you get 2 more left-handers on the mound today. Chris Sale taking on Patrick Corbin. Some things I would look at within this game is you could look at Patrick Corbin over 15.5 outs. I think that's a good look. We've bet him a ton. We know they love running him out there for the 6th inning. It's just, does he get through the 6th inning or does he get pulled, within the 6th inning? At over 15.5 outs at minus 125 over at DraftKings when he's likely going to pitch into the 6th inning. You saw the Red Sox not do much over Mackenzie Gore, and I'm sure I'll get to the comment section and somebody will say Mackenzie Gore is better than Patrick Corbin, which not fully going to disagree with that, but now you add that in with the Red Sox, declining a little bit versus left-handed pitching. We know how Corbin's kind of been this season. He's had really good stretches where he's been able to limit the damage. I mean, the dude gives up hits. Hell, I think in his last outing against the Phillies, he walked, 7, 8 batters he walked? But he limited the damage. Remember, the Phillies didn't even come anywhere close to cashing an F5 team total in that start against them, and they had 7 walks in that game against the Phillies. He's been doing a good job of limiting the damage. This is why I like over 15.5 outs, because the Red Sox have regressed a little bit. If you're wondering, of course I'm going to like the Nationals again. If I was doing long shots, the Nationals would come in as my dog of the day. We liked that bullpen yesterday. The bullpen advantages showed up in yesterday's game. The hitting advantages we talked about were dead even. Well, now it's not dead even. Now you're getting an advantage a little bit because the Red Sox regressed a little bit. The Nationals win the game, so their numbers go up a little bit versus left-handed pitching. So the thing that would give you maybe a little bit of pause with over 15.5 outs against Patrick Corbin is Justin Turner hits 381, Duvall hits 343, and Trevor Story hits 333. But to be quite honest, that's like a recurring theme. Like every time Patrick Corbin takes the mound, it's like guys have good batting averages against him. It hasn't really played out this season. The guy has kept it together, a fair amount of times this season. So I think that's a good look in this game is Patrick Corbin over 15.5 outs. I looked at that Nationals team total over 3.5. I mentioned, their left-handed hitting. We know that's generally been their strength all season. But in Sale's starts, he's only allowed one opponent in his last 7 to go over a 3.5 team total. That's a combination of him and the bullpen. We're talking full game. In his last 7 starts, only one opponent would have cashed in over 3.5 team total. Is another guy. Good strikeout stuff. Big, tall lefty. He's been limiting the damage in his games. I don't even know if I want to do a Nationals team total over 3.5. What about Chris Sale under 5.5 Ks? That could also be another good look. You saw Jane Paxton yesterday only get 3 Ks. He's a pretty damn good strikeout pitcher, another good tall lefty. So they're gonna. Chris Sale's a little bit more of a sidearm kind of guy at times. He can get a little sidearm, but you're still talking in terms of the ball trajectory because they're both big, tall, lengthy guys. It's going to look kind of the same. And James Paxton only got 3 Ks. We know this Nationals team is really stinking good, at avoiding the strikeout rate. It's at 16% right now with a 253 batting average. Yeah, I'm looking at Chris Sale under 5.5 Ks. Under 5.5 Ks for Chris Sale could be a nice look. If you're wondering, and we kind of talked about some of those good batting averages off against Patrick Corbin, in today's lineup for the Red Sox hitters, there's 115 career at-bats off Patrick Corbin. Projected starters for the Nationals, there's only 1 career at-bat. So you would maybe think Chris Sale is going to have an advantage. Obviously, from a hitter familiarity, we got 1 career at-bat versus 115 career at-bats. So tip the advantage to Chris Sale, certainly in that one. If I'm betting this game, I'm probably going to look at the over because I'm probably the lineups. The Red Sox have generally been good against lefties. If Corbin wants to walk 7 batters, I don't know how the hell the Phillies weren't able to take advantage of that, but most teams, most days, you're walking 7 batters, you're going to get burned putting 7 free guys on the base pass. So I would probably take an over 9.5, but I'd probably go right back to the dog of the day again today. Like the Nationals yesterday, I'll probably like them again today. A plus 154, even a little bit of a bigger dog today. And now you got a little bit better advantages. Still got a nice bullpen advantage, and the hitting has become a little bit better. So I would say within this game, Patrick Corbin over 15.5 outs, Sale under 5.5 Ks. Give me the over and give me the Nationals win as well. All right, let's go ahead and move it on now. We've got the Tigers and Guardians with an over-under of 8.5. Tigers minus 135. Guardians come in here at plus 114. When we did a look-ahead yesterday on the payoff pitch, we had this game circled as the NRFI of the day. I've gone ahead and thrown on the NRFI of the day. We've sucked this week at giving out NRFI of the days. 3 NRFI of the days, and we ain't picked up a win at all. I'm going to put my money behind this one. We're going to hit this one because my money's behind this one, boys. Screwball has just been really outstanding in his 7 starts. How about no earned runs in his 7 starts? How about he's bringing 10 Ks in those 7 starts, 0.57 whip, and a 120 opponent's batting average? Screwball has been really good. We know the Guardians can hit left-handers, right? That was our only cash yesterday, was fading them against the left-hander and Andrew Abbott. Screwball is just as good as Andrew Abbott. Really like Screwball. Enjoyed, tailing him last season to a fair amount. So we expect, with how good he is in the first inning, with how the Guardians are struggling versus left-handers, expect that half of the inning to certainly be easy. And then Curry here for the Guardians, he's had 5 starts. He has earned 4 earned runs in those 5 starts, 1 home run, a 2.0 whip, and a 333 opponent's batting average. I hear you. Those aren't great numbers. But it's really been the White Sox. Those 4 earned runs, 3 of the 4 came against the White Sox, and the other earned run was a balk against the Phillies. So they didn't hit him. He just had a little twitch in his delivery, and got a balk. So Tigers are still one of the better teams to go ahead and tail in terms of a NRFI. They rank 28th in Major League Baseball getting a NRFI 77% of the times, and the Guardians aren't too far behind them at 71%, which ranks 15th in the Major League. So I'm going to go ahead and do the NRFI of the day here in Tigers Guardians. I will go ahead and bet this at -108 over on Bet Rivers. Overall, though, just with how the Guardians are struggling mightily versus left-handers, and I'm not even going to regurgitate the information because, again, that was our only cash yesterday, and, of course, the numbers have only gotten worse after a dreadful performance up against Andrew Abbott. I like the Tigers in this matchup. Not a ton of confidence, even though they are hitting right-handers better at this portion of the season. I do kind of like Curry. I would say Tigers in the under. Would feel a little bit more confident taking the under. Like Curry again, two good bullpens, really good bullpen in the Tigers. That's why I would lean to give Tigers certainly the advantage from a money line perspective, as they've got the bullpen advantage combined with the Guardians' struggles versus left-handers. I'll take the Tigers in the under in this one. I'll take the Tigers in the under in this matchup, but I'm going to go ahead and bet the NRFI of the day. Go ahead and give me that Tigers Guardians NRFI. We'll go ahead and bet that one there at -108. Next matchup here is the Mets taking on the Cardinals with an over-under of 10.5, -142 for the Mets. Cardinals come in at +120. Quintana versus Wainwright. I think that right there says it all. We know the Cardinals right now are really good versus left-handers. We may have gotten burned doing a JP Sears under 5.5 Ks, but within that game, they had plenty of traffic on the bases. They cashed their F5 team total, and of course their numbers in doing so and having traffic on the bases and cashing an F5 team total and making JP Sears work his ass off through 5 innings and chasing him after 5 innings, their numbers got better versus left-handers. So they're going up against Quintana. You would think that they're going to have a fair amount of success up against him. And then Adam Wainwright, he's just getting beat up by everybody. I mean, he's just sitting there. He's like a piñata on that mound, and everybody's just going up there taking their hits on his ass. I'm actually surprised they're still trotting him out there. I think this is his last season. I'm not saying that's why they're trotting him out there. Obviously they're not a postseason club. I believe it is his last season. I don't know, because the back of his baseball card certainly doesn't suggest keep running him out there every 5 days. Mets aren't, overly great right now versus right-handers. They're sitting at about a league average. They're hitting, 232 with the weighted runs created, just over 100, which 100 is league average, and they're at 105. But you have to imagine that Wainwright's just going to get hit. I mean, he's been getting hit by everybody. So this seems like an easy over. We know the Cardinals' bullpen is full on struggling. We can recap those numbers because they sit in the bottom 5 in FIP, ERA, WHIP, and opponent's batting average. That's not a good bullpen right now. Mets are certainly going to be better. They come in at around league average. But they've got some numbers where they're god-awful. They got a 7.13 ERA, which is third worst in baseball, and they got a 6.74 FIP, which is second worst in baseball. So they've got some ugly numbers out of their bullpen. They've been doing a good job of limiting the hits, but not limiting the power. That sounds really bad when you got Arenado, when you've got Goldschmidt in lineup, and some of these other big thumpers where they can turn on one and obviously send one over the fences. Speaking of sending one over the fences, what about Paul Goldschmidt, who's 11 for 17 against Quintana with 3 doubles and 3 home runs? You want to talk about over 1.5 total bases? You want to talk about a guy today that can hit a home run? You add that with that Mets bullpen, that's been their struggling, which is home runs per 9 innings. Look, Goldschmidt today could probably be the best guy today on the board to do some damage. Plus 450 to hit a home run, but. You look at this, I'm not interested in picking a winner in this. When you start talking overs, you're seeing a lot of runs. Obviously, anybody can maybe kind of win those games. And then with the way the Cardinals are hitting left-handers and the way everybody's hitting Wainwright, there's no confidence in picking a winner in this game. It's just an over. If you're betting this game, you're taking the over, and you're living with the outcome. You're living with the outcome. Certainly wouldn't jump on an under. Certainly wouldn't. And then we got juice slightly on the under. I'm showing -112 to the under, -108 for the over. Very slight shading to the under. I don't know how. Maybe you could just say that the Mets offense is struggling a bit versus right-handers. And maybe that's why you're going to go ahead and take an under. You can say Quintana's been doing a good job of maybe limiting some damage, but Cardinals right now versus left-handers are awfully dangerous. I mean, again, we just saw it the other night against JP Sears. So I'm betting the over, or I'm not betting this, and I certainly struggle to kind of pick a winner in this matchup. All right, let's go now to Diamondbacks taking on the Padres with an over-under of 8.5, -108 for the Diamondbacks. Padres come in here at -112. The thing I wanted to highlight in this game is I think I do want to take a stab at the over at this one. You've got this Diamondbacks team that is fairly good right now, versus left-handers, 259, slugging 405, weighted runs created is 107. They don't strike out at 16%. So if they can just, prevent Hill from, really painting the corner and hitting the black, I think they'll have success. And then I am expecting the Padres to have a fair amount of success up against Zach Gallen. You've got Machado hits 300, Cronenworth, he hits 273, Tatis hits 333, Kim hits 286, and Bogarts hits 375 off Gallen. So your top of your lineup, you've got 5 guys that have outstanding averages off Gallen. If they can string those hits together as opposed to being spaced out, you're going to see Gallen get hit, and you're going to see Gallen get hit pretty hard, which obviously then means gives up runs. So I think the Diamondbacks can get to Hill. I think the Padres can get to Gallen. I like an over 8.5 in this one. If I had to pick a winner, I would take the Padres. They've got the better bullpen than the Diamondbacks, and they've got the better bullpen, certainly by far. You've got Josh Hader is going to be ready to go in this game. Obviously pitched yesterday, but these guys will be good on 2 days rest. I'll take the better bullpen by a good little margin. Expecting both starters to certainly get a hit. I like an over 8.5 with Padres, walking away with a money line victory at this one, and it only being cost at -112. Then the last game here, boys, let's do Brewers-Dodgers over-under of 8.5. Give me the Brewers at +124, Dodgers at -148. If I look at this matchup, we've got Corbin Burns taking on Lance Lynn. I kind of want to take a stab at Corbin Burns under 6.5 Ks, -117. He stayed under in 14 of his 24 starts so far on the season. His K per 9 is down this season. It's at 9.1 as opposed to last season at 10.8. Just not having the swing and miss stuff that he's had in previous years past. And then you add that with the Dodgers team, versus right-handers, I'm hitting 279. I have a weighted runs created of 106. I'm slugging 421, and I'm not striking out at 17.3%. Obviously, if the Dodgers have won 10 games in a row, they're obviously doing a lot right. And because they've won 10 games in a row, and because all their metrics are good, right? If you're winning 10 games in a row, your bullpen numbers are outstanding. You're obviously hitting the ball really well. I'm going to like the Dodgers in this matchup, even though it is Corbin Burns. We've got hitter familiarity on our side as opposed to Lance Lynn coming over from the American League, not seeing the Brewers as often. Even though I expect Lynn to get hit and maybe give up a couple runs, that's why I like the over. That is why I like the over in this matchup. Again, the over is at 8.5 because the Brewers can't get to Lance Lynn. They can stack some left-handers in their lineup and they can have some damage off of Lance Lynn. But the Dodgers have it clicking right now. They've got the better offensive numbers by far. Where the Milwaukee Brewers, they come in hitting right-handers only at 221. So I'm not going to fade that, right? When we take an under, like in 2 nights ago when we almost took, Reds F5 team total, they were below the Mendoza line. I like to find the teams that are like below the Mendoza line. They're at 221, which, ranks 25th in Major League Baseball. So certainly, worth fading in terms of like the money line for like a full game, what you expect for them. But I can't get on like fading them, from an F5 team total, or anything along there. But I like the over. I like the over 8.5. I like Dodgers on the money line. Just kind of continue what they've been doing. Corbin Burns within that game. I like him to stay under 6.5 Ks. That's how we're doing it, boys. That is the Wednesday or the Thursday slate here in the MLB. Only 6 games. Let's do a little recap here. So I would go over Mariners Royals. Mariners run line. Over Red Sox Nationals. Nationals money line. Over Mets, Cardinals. Really not trying to pick a winner in that. Tigers, Guardians, I would go under in the Tigers money line. Diamondbacks, Padres, I would go over in Padres money line. And Brewers, Dodgers, I would go over in Dodgers money line as well. And then maybe some props within there. Give me Patrick Corbin over 15.5 outs. I'll take Sale under 5.5 Ks. I will take Corbin Burns under 6.5 Ks. The only thing I'm willing to bet, I didn't even have it to put up on the screen, NRFI of the day. That's my one and only bet so far today in the MLB. I may have some personal fun, but not an MLB slate I want to really encourage anybody to throw a fair number of units at. This is you can certainly make some money. I mean, if the stats come out, but it doesn't look great enough to really encourage somebody to get behind it. But I will do the nerf of the day, -108 over on Bet Rivers. Tigers Guardians nerf of the day, -108 over on Bet Rivers. We've got Jay coming in. He also apparently likes the nerfy of Tigers Guardians. So I hear you, Jay. I'll be right there with you, man. Sweating out 6 ounce to glory. We got to wait until the nightcap, though. That game's at, what do we got, 6:15 Central Time? So we got to wait a little bit for that one, but I'm fine. I'm fine putting out one play and cashing one play. Anything else from anybody else? Let's do a little look ahead to Friday. We were able to do a look ahead and correctly predict that we would really like that nerfy. Let's do a look ahead to Friday real quick, boys. I'm showing Royals-Cubs as the only day game. Cubs crushing Royals. If the Royals hit Kirby, I'm going to be on that over tomorrow. I'm telling you right now, if the Royals stay hot and hit George Kirby, I'll be on that over tomorrow for sure in Cubs-Royals. I almost goddamn guarantee you that. So be on the lookout for that. Let's see what the Royals can do against Kirby. And then what else we got? We got Yankees taking on Brian Bello, and looking up the research, the Yankees, let me get the number. Yeah, they have the worst batting average as right-handers. They're only hitting 184. They ain't got no power, slugging 251, weighted runs created 62, striking out a ton at 30.4%. Yeah, I'll be on the Red Sox tomorrow for sure. Or like backing Bello in some capacity. For sure, it's a Yankee fade tomorrow. Their pitcher is to be determined. I could give two shits. Unless it's Garrett Cole, because that's the only thing they got worth a damn on that team is Garrett Cole. So as long as it's not Garrett Cole, I won't be scared. If I do a look ahead, I can even see that Garrett Cole is pitching Saturday against Cutter Crawford. So I'll be on the Red Sox in some fashion tomorrow. I'll gladly fade the worst team in the MLB versus right-handers, and that number is below the Mendoza line. Yeah, sign me up. We've got Michael Lorenzen in a repeat performance. Just came off his last outing, a no-hitter against the Nationals. He's going to face the Nationals again in his very next outing. I was going to say he's not going to be successful as a no-hitter, but that's kind of like Captain Obvious right there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the number comes out at, but maybe we could take a stab there tomorrow. Spencer Strider taking on the Giants. That's going to be an F3 team total under plus money. I can already tell you right now on that because the Giants are still struggling versus right-handers. Yep, they're only hitting 206. No power at 296. Their weighted runs created at 58. We know Spencer Strider's got excellent strikeout stuff. That's more than likely. I can't imagine not betting that. Giants F3 team total. You know it'll be at plus money. You know it'll be at 0.5. Let's see. Has he avoided facing the Giants this season? Let's see. See if he's avoided the Giants this season. Oh, yeah. And he hasn't faced the Giants this season? Yeah, that'll be a bet. 100%. All right, so we've got a couple nice spots on tomorrow's card. We're still working through it. We kind of like the over in Royals-Cubs. Going to back the Red Sox in some capacity. Going to fade the Giants early in that game. One time through the lineup. We've done that with Spencer Strider, and he's rewarded us one time through the lineup. I can't imagine not being on that F3 team total under. Yeah, I can't imagine not. Let's see. What other matchups we got here? Nothing else. Nothing else pops off. Just looking at who's playing who and looking at projected starters. I don't see anything that. Nothing else stands out. But boy, those ones that do stand out: fading the Giants early, the Yankees fading their ass, and then if we hit George Kirby today of the Royals, I'll be on that over tomorrow in Royals Cubs. What's the weather going to be like tomorrow? That's a good afternoon game here in Chicago. Oh, yeah, it's beautiful weather tomorrow. Mid-70s, sun. Yeah, sign me up for an over. All right, fellas, that's a little look ahead. I'm only going to have that one bet today. We'll just do what Jay's talking about down here in the comment section. We'll do that Tigers Guardians nerfy, Jay. Sign me up, man. -108. Let's get a current. Let's get before we leave. Let's get one last look at that price just to see what maybe the current price is. let's see, minus 113. So you're in the ballpark of what I gave it out, an hour or so ago. So, all right, boys, that's how we'll go ahead and do it. Hey, if you're interested in knowing how the Premier League is going to unfold this weekend, hang around on Between the Posts. We're going to do it here live with Matt and I in about 30 minutes. Between the Posts went 5-0 last week betting in the Premier League. See what we can cook up this week in the Premier League. All right, fellas, enjoy your day at baseball. Have a fun Thursday. Come on back for tomorrow. We'll preview that nice big slate in the MLB and crank out some more winners. Have a good one, fellas.